Okay, so this is the Luke's Journey interview after the second week of working, and we have been working, that's why we look like this, full of mud, so apologies for that. And yeah, so Luke's just done his first 2 weeks. My first question to you is, how have you found changing jobs from working full time at the NHS to doing dog walking?
Proper weird. It's been really. I'm still getting used to it. I think. Like I'm still not. It still feels like this isn't my job yet. Like it feels like it's just like a
weird holiday.
Yeah, like a side. Feels like I'm off sick or something, or I'm on annual leave and I'm just doing this as like a side gig or something. It's like really weird. It's been a total. It's mad how fast you adjust though. Like I don't miss work at all. As in my old work. And it just, I don't know, it just feels like I've been doing this for ages already now. Like it's really weird how fast you adjust to it. But it's been a really nice change of pace. Obviously loads less paperwork, loads more outdoors time. Got really lucky with the weather, so that it's just been like pretty nice all the time.
It's just such a big change.
Yeah, it's been. I think it's still sinking in, to be honest. I think it still hasn't quite sunk in that this is it now. Yeah, but it's definitely not been a bad change. It's been really nice.
Yeah. What aspect of the dog walking have you enjoyed the most? Obviously, we're only 2 weeks in, but like, what has really made you think, oh, I really like this bit? You know, I like when this happens. Or
I mean, just picking them up. It sounds silly, but picking them up is really nice because they're always just like dead happy to see you, and that's really nice just to get there. But I think that just there's like these little moments where you're out on like a big field or something, and the sun's like shining, and you've just got these dogs around you, just like pottering about having fun, and there's just like these little moments where you're like, oh, this is really, this is like just really nice. Like this is my job now. This is it. So it's hard because it's not like the sort of. It's just like these little subtle moments you sort of lock in for a second because you get you sort of getting the dogs and you're busy and stuff, and then you become like present in the moment and you're like, oh, this is just what I'm doing now, like this is what I'm getting paid for, like this is lovely. Like I was out yesterday with one of the dogs and it was all like I was on this field and it was all not snow but like all frosted and white, and the sun was shining and there was like a mist and the dog was like just going mad. And I was just walking and the river was there, and there's just like this little moment where you're like, oh, this is like it now, and this is really nice. Like this is just my day at work. So I think just
what's the thing that you've enjoyed the least?
Cleaning. Yeah, that's easy. Just cleaning them. It's just a pain, isn't it?
It is. It is hard over winter when you're trying to clean them and then they'll sit in muck whilst you're cleaning the next one.
Yeah.
In what ways has your life changed by doing dog walking? Again, I know it's only 2 weeks in, but you might have noticed some changes to your mental well-being or just the time that you've got now, or...
Yeah, I mean, especially at the minute I've got more time, which is nice. But I think just like the activity side of it as well, like, I'm active every day now. And even if I do nothing else all day, like I've been active and I've been outdoors, and I think that just makes like a massive difference getting out and about. And I think, I feel more, I don't know what the word would be, like sort of mentally nourished, I suppose, just from being out every day.
Okay. And again, early days, but is there any successes that you've had so far that you think, oh, this is really good and I've really made a difference here?
There's one dog I've got at the minute, and the owner caught me at the door when I was picking him up, and they just said how grateful they were for what like we've done for them so far, and that they said that when they've had them, they've been walking way better, they've been like less reactive, they've been like much nicer, they've not been barking at home as much, like out the window and stuff. And they were just like really grateful for that and said that they just feel like there's been this massive difference since we started walking him. And then there's another dog that we've got, that another who the owner can't walk very much at the minute. So it feels like we're doing sort of a lot for the dog and her getting the dog out, because he's not getting it as much outside of us. So that feels really nice. That you kind of, I don't know, like you can tell when the dog's out, he's so happy, and that's just really nice as well. And to be able to kind of do that.
This is an interesting question. How do you feel financially at the moment?
A tough one. I feel a bit rocky, probably, just because I'm earning kind of enough, but just enough. So it's like a bit scary, because I think one big drop and then it's like, oh god. But then on the flip side of it, I started a business 2 weeks ago and I'm earning enough just on that to live. So that's pretty cool. And I think that's pretty good for like a new business.
Yeah.
To be already earning like enough money straight away, that I can live off that. But I think at the minute, just while it's still new, it feels a little bit probably like rocky, just because I'm like, oh god, like if one big customer went or something, it's like, what are you gonna do? But then on the flip side, I don't need too much more to make it so that that's not too much of a concern.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. It was just a question I thought I'll throw that in, because it's interesting, because again, a lot of your concerns, I suppose, to begin with, were, it's a lot of money, it's all your savings, is it going to work, is this going to be right for you, etc. And I just wanted to see where you were financially with it, like, to see if you were sort of worried and still, or if you were sort of like, no, I think I can see it now, the path forward.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both, to be honest. I can definitely kind of see like a good viable path forward. Like I'm not like, oh, this is terrifying, it's all going to go wrong. Like I feel positive about it, that it's going to go in a good direction. But I think just until it's sort of got its feet in and it's a bit more firm, it still just feels a little bit scary at this point.
I'll have to ask you this question again later.
Right, okay.
Maybe 6 months in.
Yeah.
See how you're feeling about it. But no, because it's a big concern for potential franchisees.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it's the outlay. But, with any business, you've got to pay out for stuff. If you're doing any sort of business, you're always paying out to begin with. And you're not necessarily making any money in the first sort of 2 years even. It's a good question to ask. How many hours per week are you working? Like this week, how many? Because I think I kind of know, but I know you've had extra dogs.
Yeah, probably like 15.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Just on like the walks, I suppose, not like any of the other like extra bits I've done. It's hard, I suppose, isn't it, for working now, because you're not paid like hourly or anything. So what is working? Like if I sit for 2 hours at night and do some stuff, that's like working, I suppose, isn't it? But it doesn't feel like.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, I suppose, yeah, probably about, I'd say 15. I'll say 15.
Because it's, again, because it's more for potential franchisees, again, to sort of say, oh, he's maybe not working the 70 odd hours I was working, before, and yet he's managing to, be earning just enough to manage, and, so they can sort of see the development of how you're going. And how do you feel about starting your own business?
It's pretty cool. It feels I feel like it hasn't sunk in yet still. But my partner like reminds me all the time. She's like, "You're a business owner now," and I'm like, "Yeah, I am." It's like proper. It's like really cool. When it does like have the moments where it sinks, and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." Like, I'm a business owner. But I think it still hasn't sunk in yet properly. Anyway, I think I've never, because I've worked like shift work and like in healthcare for like my whole working life. Really, it's such a big transition, I think, to like
Yeah.
to this, that it's still sinking in. But there's something cool about it. There's something like quite satisfying about kind of earning your own income and not like, I suppose not relying on anyone, because you're relying on the income, aren't you, still? But you're not like relying on like a company to pay you. Like, you're making your own living, and that's really quite satisfying, really. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting what you say actually about your working life, because it didn't click with me. Like, because I was like, oh yeah, he's been in the NHS for the last 10 years. But then actually knowing that you're 28, thinking, oh yeah, I see why it's like a huge change.
Yeah.
Because it's like all your life you've been in this one sort of employer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really interesting for me, because the penny's just dropped for that. But yeah. And where would you like to be in 2 months' time?
In what kind of, in terms of what, in what sense?
Well, by the time we do the next video. Where would you like to be? What would you like your business to be doing? What would you like it to look like? You know, how many dog walks do you want to be doing? How much time do you want to be spending? How much money do you want to be making? What would be good for you for 2 months' time?
It's a difficult one, really. I mean, it'd be really nice, I think, if in 2 months if I was doing like consistently 2 walks a day, or roughly consistently, that'd be like a good goal or a good thing to aim for, I think. Just because financially that'd like be a lot more secure, and it'd just be nice as well to feel like it's growing a bit, and I've got like more of a base. But yeah, I suppose I don't know exactly like financially how much I want to be earning in that time. But it'd be nice if I was just past this little hurdle I'm at now of like kind of livable to like livable with a little bit of like I can nip out for tea one night maybe, you know. So yeah, if I was sort of, I mean, even if I'd like doubled what I did now, which isn't much, because that's what's mad, is that I'm making a livable wage on what is really like not many hours a week.
Yeah.
So even if I doubled that in terms of hours, that'd still be like a really comfortable amount of hours to work, but that'd be like really financially stable, a lot more stable then.
But like my husband, when he joined me, it took him ages to let it sink in that he wasn't going back to his job.
Yeah.
A really long time. I'd say about a year at least, minimum. And he was fearful that it'd all go wrong and he'd have to go back to his job, and he was like, oh no, I hope this never happens. And he never did. Yeah. But it's, you know, like you say, it takes a while to get into your head that this is it. Because
it's not just a new job, it's like a whole different lifestyle. Because when you get a new job, it's a little bit of an adjustment. But this isn't just like a new job, it's like a total shift in every way. Because I don't think it feels like I'm going to go back to my old job, but it just feels like it just feels like I'm not doing a job. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel like I'm working at all. Because this just feels like and I think because I used to do it as like a side thing, part-time as well, I think it feels like and because I was doing it while I was working as well, like in the last few weeks I've been doing it while I was working, I think it feels like I'm still doing that, and I'm just going to like... Yeah, it's really strange.
It's like a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really strange. But yeah, thank you for answering those questions, and we'll do this again in 2 months' time and see where you're feeling you're at.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.